Welcome, everyone. Let's just get the meeting started. Welcoming our attendees. Please do message us in the chat. Let us know where you're joining us from. If you're a partner agent, if you're an offer holder for On-Campus Southampton and the University of Southampton, it'd be great to know where you're calling from. Give it a few minutes while other people join as well. Well, thank you for joining us today. My name is Juliana. I am from the On-Campus Southampton marketing team, and I'm super happy to be joined by Gemma O'Donoghue, Head of Career Advantage at the University of Southampton. And it's a really special session with us today. As you all know, we've recently been focusing a lot on career support for our students at On-Campus Southampton and the university. So it's a real pleasure to have Gemma here to talk to us about how Southampton prepares students for career success. So we are recording this session. We'll share with everyone later today the recording and the PowerPoint. But if you do have any questions, we will be answering them at the end. But if you do have any further questions, please pop them in the chat if you can think of them, and we'll respond to them. Gemma will help respond to them as well at the end. And without further ado, Gemma, over to you if you want to share your screen and we can start.
Thanks, Juliana. Right, if you just give me a moment to share my slides. So thanks for having me, everybody. It's lovely to be here today. Oh, sorry, let me just make sure I've got the right slides. So we've got some offer holders here today. It'd be really nice to see what everyone's studying. If you can put this into the chat just while I wait for my slides to share. Okay. You can tell me all about it when we have the questions. So my name's Gemma O'Donoghue. I'm Head of Career Advantage at the University of Southampton, and Career Advantage is our new enhanced tailored career support offer that's especially for international students. So we're really excited to launch Career Advantage, well, at the moment for our new starters. So you guys joining on campus, you'll be able to access this when you become new starters at the University of Southampton. So Southampton actually has one of the largest career services in the country already. We have well over 60 people in our team that are all here to support you guys. And we offer all the standard things that you'd expect, which includes things like one-to-one career guidance appointments for decision making, short appointments for quick questions that you can book yourself that are available Monday to Friday at all different times and locations. We've got resources for interview preparation, CV creation, all those standard things. That's all available. That goes without saying. But what we've done is we've decided to enhance our offer specifically for international students, because over the last 2 years, we've really learned that international students need a bit more tailored support. So we've listened to our students, we've listened to our employers, and this is what we've learned. So we know that return on investment is important to our students when they're choosing where to study, and it does look different for every student. Return on investment, it could be just a clear job outcome, it could be an experience, and it also includes things like network skills and long-term career direction, not just first salaries. But at Southampton, we do really believe that a world-class education should also lead to real measurable opportunity. So this is our major new investment in employability, built on 2 years of listening and development. And it's designed for UK home country and global career outcomes. And that's really important. So it's designed for international students that might want to work in the UK, or they might want to go home or they might want to look at a brand new country. And we've designed it to create an ecosystem where you can access support and be supported in developing your own kind of bespoke individual career plan, because every one of you will have a different career plan that you do need to create yourself. And that's about learning lifelong career management skills. But we're here to help you do that. So we already know that Southampton degrees lead to strong outcomes, okay? To set the context, this is just a snapshot of our Southampton India career graduates from 2024. This is just a data snapshot of data that we've got from LinkedIn. So this is the students that we've managed to find on LinkedIn to find out what they're doing at the moment. That's not everybody. So this is 177 graduates from India in 2024. And it shows the countries they're working in and the sectors they're working in. So you can see there's a lot of sectors that are popular for working in the UK. So we know that Southampton graduates are finding good opportunities in the UK. We know that they're finding good opportunities in their home country and in other countries, which it does show the flexibility. But we wanted more than that. Yeah, we wanted to be able to make sure that we could find everybody and everybody's job outcome and make sure everyone can secure an outcome that they want from their degree. And yes, we already have relationships with many global employers. These are some of the companies that the university works with, and many universities work with all these big brands as well. But what we have learned from looking at where our international graduates have got jobs is that, yes, here's some examples. Many are working with well-known employers and big names. So here's some examples from 24 and 25 graduates from India, again, where we had the sample working in the UK. But we really wanted to take our employer relationships further and increase our capacity to work with more smaller companies, because we also know that there's many kind of hidden opportunities for international graduates in the UK with what we call SMEs, so small and medium enterprises, and opportunities that aren't even advertised. So we see that a lot of our international graduates are kind of creating opportunities by working with employers in many ways that we facilitate through things like industry-led projects or work experience programs. And then the employer sees how good they are, that they wouldn't have known that from just a CV or an application. And then that's leading to real jobs, fixed-term contracts, maybe long-term jobs. Okay, so we know that there's smaller companies that are actually competing for these skills that our Southampton graduates have linked to our programs that might not be able to compete with the JP Morgans and the EYs of the job market. And many people don't, especially if you're in a new country as an international student, you might not know what these companies are called or where to find them. So we've now created an ecosystem that can help you do that, and that's what it's focused on. So these opportunities that can only be accessed by finding and building direct links with employers. We wanted to do this to connect more of our international students with these employers. So we've built a new team, a career advantage team within our big careers service. So there's now 8 of us. There was just one international careers consultant focused just on enhanced support for international. We've now got 8 people in the team that I'm leading with that focus. So that's reaching for opportunities in the UK, reaching out to the right employers that, yes, they will sponsor visas, or they will take candidates on short-term contracts for the graduate visa. And we understand that they only do that really because they need to. So we're there to find the demand and where it is within the labour market, using a data-led approach and supporting you guys to do that as well, so that you've got developing independent career management skills. So over the last 2 years, we have been developing our career support for international students. And we've listened carefully to employers. So we've connected with employers in the UK and globally. And they've told us things like UK employers do value high caliber international talent, but they are challenged by UK visa rules, and we can support them in overcoming those challenges. We can have an impact on that by working directly with them. Employers want to work with candidates before they commit to visa sponsorship. So we can facilitate that with the short-term contracts and work experience opportunities, which we are now going to grow with Career Advantage. And we've also learned that small companies hold potential for visa sponsorship as well as the big brands. So here's a quote from a small startup director that we've been working with quite a bit. who've used our talent pool, our LinkedIn group that we run, that's got over 1,000 students and graduates in it now, that employers can go and meet international talent, and maybe, you know, offer opportunities that might not be advertised. So here's a quote from an employer that uses our talent pool because he's realised it saves him on recruitment agency fees, and we've got great international talent. So we've built a model now that works, and what we'll do with our enhanced team is grow that over the next couple of years. So it's an exciting time to come and work with Southampton and be supported by the Careers Service. We also listened carefully to our international students. So what did they tell us? Postgraduate students, and we might have some pre-entry postgrads here maybe. They need different things to undergrad students. They often come to us with work experience, and they're targeting the experienced higher job market. Career support and connections needed to go beyond the UK. So we know that our international graduates are looking globally. Okay, so hands up if you're looking globally, if you're considering the UK and other countries as well, maybe new countries when you graduate. And we needed to be able to facilitate supporting you with that. I mean, that wasn't really the focus of most UK career services before. They were unable to offer expertise on countries other than the UK, but we're now focused on doing that with a mixture of building UK expertise and also in-country global teams as well. So we've listened to our students, carefully tailoring what we offer to meet the unique needs of the students when you're in a non-native country. So navigating unfamiliar job markets and searching whilst on visas, and really just getting used to a new culture, what networking's like, what the rules are. So we listen to our students, and we've created a new tailored programme for our international students. This will be the first year it's launched, so it's really exciting. So our new offer for 2026 entrants, which will be repeated next year when you guys start, or the year after, or whenever you join the university for your degree, is now a wraparound offer supporting students before they arrive at Southampton, while they're here and after they graduate. And that's whether they choose to remain in the UK or go to a new country. So we'll talk about these 5 pillars in more detail, but the important thing to note is that the support starts when you accept an offer at Southampton with a series of pre-entry webinars. Now, we are opening up these webinars to our current students because it's great. There's around 16 webinars that are starting next week, and they're a mixture of talks from industry experts, our international alumni, and our careers team. And I will send the link so that any of you guys on the call can also attend. We've now increased the capacity for work experience when you're in the UK, and that's really important, and we know that's important for many reasons. We have an e-mentoring platform with over 8,000 international alumni that you can use to connect with alumni from around the world and ask them questions. We have a really, really good entrepreneurship ecosystem support here with a great venue that I'll talk about in a minute because it's located right next to on campus. And then after you graduate, support continues for up to 5 years after graduation, and now it's in the UK and globally. So we have identified individual differences between students that have different country domiciles, and we have, you know, we can't have in-country support in every country around the world, maybe one day. So we've started with our 2 biggest cohorts. So we've started with India. We have now an in-country team in India. So anybody here who's from India, at the point that you want to return home, whether that's straight after your studies or probably a couple of years after, or maybe even later, there's now a team in India of job market experts that can support you with career guidance. So we have a careers counsellor and an employer engagement manager who will be bringing us connections with employers in India that want to hire our students. And that person will keep us connected with those employers throughout the time that people are studying here, and then also when they do decide to return home. So that's something we've added in for India, and by far our biggest number of international students are from China. So we have put in some China-specific support, and that's identifying the need that around 90% of students from China that study in the UK do return home and want to return home straight away. So we were concerned that we didn't have the capacity to support those students with keeping connected with the really challenging and growingly competitive China job market. And we now have a team in China as well that will enable people to stay connected while they're here through a series of employer webinars, which we already started running last year and will continue and grow with an offer of a paid internship on return to China for those students that want to return before the end of their studies, in between the time that their lectures end and when they hand in their dissertation, for those that are really committed to going home immediately. For others, there's support to gain work experience while you're here. So this is just a note for the China internships. I will send these slides out, but China internships do have some requirements that are all there to support your employability. So anybody interested in the China internship scheme, you will hear more about that when you arrive at Southampton or when you accept your offer as a student at Southampton. And you will need to take part in certain activities to support your employability to qualify for the internships. But you'll learn more about that once you get here. Okay, so Career Ready Plus is the pre-entry webinars, which you will get the link to, you will be able to join. And it's a series of sessions starting next week, as I said, that are delivered by many of our international alumni from around the world and a lot from the UK who have, and they're very recent alumni as well, because we think that's important, that you get role models and inspiration from alumni who have recently secured roles. So they're where you want to be. They're there now. They're a couple of years ahead of you guys, and they've secured roles in the current UK job market as it is with the current visa rules. We think that's important to demonstrate that and hear from them how they've secured those roles in many different ways, so that you can have first-hand understanding of the individual career plans that people need to create to be successful, and how they've used the career service along the way in a way that suits them and their situation. So those webinars will start next week and you will get the link. So let's talk about a bit about the support that in general that's available. So when you start at on campus, you will meet the careers team. So you might meet me, or you'll meet some people from our team throughout the years that you're there. And we will deliver certain sessions. So don't worry. I mean, today's not really about giving you the detailed information. You will receive all of that about the support that you can get. And there will be certain sessions that we deliver with you, like CV support, interview support. And you will be able to get hold of us if you need support. And we'll give you all the information about how to access the career service when you start at Southampton as a student. And it is important that you know that before you get there and you start to plan early. And you know, the students that are successful in securing the careers they want tend to be the ones that have made the most of what's available. So part of the wider offer, and like I said, there's a huge amount available, including many ways to gain work experience, many resources, many events to go to, many ways to network. But part of that is also our bespoke career support for international students as part of our core offer. And this is the International Student Careers Programme, which has been running for 2 years now. It's very well established. It's very simple and very effective. So it's a series of 5 workshops that you can access. We have got 3 of these on YouTube, which again, I'll give you the link. And if you're really keen, you can watch them today. And that's all the information that you'll need, the basic information. So the titles include accessing the UK job market as an international student, job search strategies for visa holders, LinkedIn for global candidates, tailoring CVs for UK employers, and using AI for job applications. So I deliver those workshops on a rolling basis throughout the year. You can watch the first 3 on recording if you're super keen. You can come to them in person when you get here. And those workshops give you the basis really of starting your career plan. And then from there, you can choose what you want to do. You can book international support appointments with us, or make use of all the other appointments that we have. We have a LinkedIn community, which again, you can join today. I will give you that link in the slides. So our LinkedIn group is really effective. It's over 1,000 students, alumni, recent grads and employers. And really, it's a platform for us to share opportunities with you that you know you can access as an international student on a visa. So filtered opportunities that are either short-term to fit in the graduate visa period, part-time to fit in the student visa period, or that we know have got skilled workership sponsorship attached or available for that role. So you know that you don't need to apply any filters. You know that everything posted in that group is something that you can definitely apply for. So please, if you want to join that group, that don't just use it to look out for the opportunities. You can use it to connect with other students, alumni, and people in the group, and ask some questions and advice as well. We have regular opportunities to connect with employers through lots of events that we run, and we run a series of international student and recent alumni networking events, which are really popular actually, and we will do more and more of them now that we have the extra team. And that's just recent alumni that have great jobs in the UK who've stayed behind, chatting to students who want to get great jobs just like them. It's that simple. We provide food and drink, and people tend to connect and make networks that they keep for a long time. It's not just about learning about jobs. I'm there to make sure everyone's talking about jobs, but actually students report back that they make really good friends and connections in those events, which is important if you're staying behind in not your home country. It's important that you maintain a network of other people that you know and that you can just generally socialise with. So we know that that's important as well, and that's why we do those events regularly. So everything at Southampton is really now underpinned by Successful Futures, which is our Southampton skills model. And this focuses on transferable skills, because often called human skills. People know that, shortage skills in demand are often technical skills, and that's what often comes up in, industry research, government publications, that yes, we have big technical skills shortages in the UK, many which are aligned to Southampton programmes. Even things like fashion design are on the skill shortage list. However, it's important to understand how important in the UK human skills and transferable skills are that cut across all jobs. And these may not be what employers look for on CVs and applications, because actually they need to assess them in person. So these skills will come into play when you're in interview or when you're working with employers, but they're equally as important, because in the UK, when an employer hires, it's pretty permanent. Our employment laws are pretty strict. So if someone doesn't work out, you pretty much, it's really hard. It's not a hire fire culture like the US or some other countries. So what that means is employers need to make really sure that everybody not just has the technical skills, but they're the right culture fit. They have the right soft skills. They have the right transferable skills, things that are applicable to all sectors and all job functions, things that are listed here. Communication, teamwork, creativity, adaptability, resilience, and problem solving. They're all really important things that not only do you need to develop, but you need to be able to demonstrate clearly to employers. So Successful Futures is a program that runs behind this, and you'll see it everywhere. And you can do the pathway on our My Career platform, and it helps you identify what skills are developed from here in your program and what skills you might need to develop outside the curriculum. It lists opportunities for you here that you can use to develop the skills outside of the curriculum, and also it supports you in articulating or talking clearly about these skills to employers. And if you can't do that, there's no point having the skills, because the employer needs to know that you've got them. So Successful Futures, look out for that, and the Southampton skills model when you get here. Now, this feeds into our skills-based work experience. So we know how important work experience is for lots of different reasons, actually, especially more than ever now in our AI-disrupted recruitment market, where employers are really, really faced with a massive increase in application volume due to people using AI to write their job applications. Top tip, don't use AI to write your job applications. It's as simple as that. Use AI for job research, use AI for finding small employers, use AI for giving feedback on your application or prepping for an interview, but don't use AI to write your application, your cover letter, your CV. Employers know that you have, and they're getting really, really annoyed with it. So what that means is when they're faced with maybe double or triple the amount of applications, they're starting to think about how it's impossible to tell from an application who's the right candidate. They haven't got time to interview everyone. So they start to think about who they've met and who they know. Has there been a student that's recently come in to shadow and watch us work? Has there been a student that's recently volunteered with us? Has there been a student that I met at that careers fair? Has there been a student that I know is really good because they did an internship or an industry project with me? Maybe I'll look out for their application. So really you need to, in any way you can, get in front of these employers so that you become more than just a written application. That's more important than ever. And the way you do that is through various types of work experience or work-based learning, which the whole university here is focusing on increasing and embedding and creating the infrastructure so that you can do that. So there's many ways that you can access work experience at the university, and that includes around 500 paid internships that our team sources directly every year that's exclusive to Southampton students. Yes, you need to apply for them. It's a competitive application process. Not everyone's going to get one. We know that. So we've put in place lots of other ways that you can meet employers. And that includes massively growing our volunteering capacity so that you can still volunteer and get into a workplace, even if it's not a paid structured internship, so that you can meet employers, build the skills, demonstrate them on your CV, and have examples to talk about in interviews to employers later on. There's ways that you can ladder up from nothing as well. If you're really not confident in maybe going to an interview or even volunteering, you can start by doing a virtual work experience on our virtual platform, putting that on your CV, then talking about that in an interview for volunteering, and then doing that, building your confidence. Some people might need to build confidence with speaking English in a relaxed business environment or like small talk. Whatever your need is, it will be individual. And then you can talk about the volunteering in an interview for a paid internship, and then in turn talk about that in your interview for your job. So it is about building things up slowly and doing whatever suits you. Some of you might be really ready to come in and just apply for one of the internships and you might get it straight away. Everyone's different, but we listened to that feedback. We've looked at how our students are securing work experience and where they're struggling, and we've put things in place to support you so that you can access it in whatever form suits you at the time. So hands up if you're interested in starting your own business. Southampton really takes entrepreneurship seriously with a dedicated city centre space that our graduates can use to develop business ideas and actually run their businesses from. So when you start on campus, you will be in the Sir James Matthews building, and that's where the junction is based. So please go and have a look. It's on the ground floor, right by the entrance with the security desk at the doors. If you come in, look on the right, you'll see the junction. It's a really, really trendy, really cool, brand new space. It looks amazing. It's really impressive if you're running a startup and you want to meet a client, you can just go there and use it. You can use it to work. You could have a meeting from there. But before you get to that point, even if you're thinking, well, I might like to start a business, but I don't know, our enterprise team will run loads and loads of activities throughout the time you're here, ranging from just going to find out what entrepreneurship is, to going to a competition to put your business idea in and maybe get some funding, to asking them about the Founder Innovator Visa, all sorts of things. Whatever support you need for entrepreneurship, then that team is really great. Half of the advisors already have their own businesses, which they run alongside. So they have, real lived experience as well of setting up businesses. So it's a really great team. We're really proud of them in the way they support our students and the legacy it leaves with all the spin-offs and businesses that we are always shouting about that come from Southampton University. So we have put in place home country support for India and for China. So if you are looking to return to India, or indeed maybe target India as a country and it's not your native country, there is now a team in India that can support you. Same for China. There's a team in China that support people returning home. So you don't need to worry about how you access this support towards the end of your studies. And for China, towards even the beginning of the final year, you'll receive communication from the team saying, would you like to be part of our Returners 2027 group? We can offer this support, sign up, and you'll go into either the WhatsApp or the WeChat groups, and opportunities will be shared, workshops will be offered, appointments in country will be open, and we'll develop that. If you're interested in looking at any other countries around the world, the UK team can support you with that from here as well. So we're learning as well. We're learning about all the countries around the world, but now we have the resource to do that and to really focus on it. So one of the things that we really are proud of at Southampton is the way that our careers service really integrates and works well with our alumni engagement service. And this doesn't happen at all universities. And we really developed this over the last couple of years as well, because we've seen how important it is and how well it works. So throughout the careers support and your careers experience, you will come across alumni all the time. Okay, so right from the offer holder webinars next week, alumni will be in most of those talks talking about their experience and their career journeys. When you come to our networking events, alumni will be there. If anyone's been to offer holder events, you may have met alumni there as well. They come back as employers, they come back through the buddy scheme, the mentoring scheme. Our international alumni really engage, and those that have engaged with the support, a lot of them are master's students, so they're here for just a year and then very quickly they become alumni, and when they get a job they just want to give back to the next year cohort. So it's a really, really nice community that we've managed to build, and this will just get bigger and bigger over time as well. Okay, so for the agents on this call, hopefully what this means for you guys is point of contact. If you have any questions, you can come to me, my email's there, and a clear message for students, and just understanding and knowing that the students will be looked after genuinely with people that really, really care, a team that really, really cares about international students' careers and their future, and that really you're sending your students into safe hands when they come to Southampton. Okay, so that's a lot of information, and you will get the slides and I'll add in all the links. But yeah, I'm here if anybody has any questions, and I'll stay as long as you need. So yeah, please feel free to put, I think there may be some in the chat. Let's have a look.
Thanks, Gemma.
Oh, not yet.
Yeah, I think we've got our team member Sushada on behalf of one of their students. So thanks, Nan, for joining. While we don't have any questions on the chat per se, I think if you could talk a little bit about, what you've been working on with our on-campus Southampton team at the centre, going to the centre and talking to students. How has Career Advantage and the Career Services team been supporting students that are already at the centre, and what our students can expect when they join on campus as well as part of, university progression?
Yeah, so we have a careers platform, again, which I will put the link into the slides. So the careers platform is called My Career, and essentially this is a one-stop place for everything. So everything that you want to access, you'll be able to find in My Career, including the jobs board, a part-time job section, all the resources, the recorded workshops, the live workshops. And actually, as an on-campus student, you can access a lot of this already when you start, as soon as you start on campus. So as soon as you get your university login and email, which you will as an on-campus student, you can log into My Career. You can go under the events section and you can go to any of our events. So you can go to any of our workshops, which cover all the core skills, CVs, interviews, writing applications, career planning, career ideas. As on-campus students, you're probably, especially the pre-undergrad, you're probably quite early on in the career decision-making process and you're not quite sure. So really, you probably just want to find things out, but also to plan. And I know some of the students that are pre-masters, you probably have some ideas already and just really want to get started. You can look at the jobs board, you can apply for jobs, you can apply for the part-time jobs, you can apply for the graduate jobs, those of you that are ready at that stage. You can watch recordings, you can come on campus and come to our employer events if you want to, careers fairs, and we will come onto on campus at certain times in the year when we're invited by your team. We did it was during March this year, we came on campus and did a series of sessions. I think you had a whole employability week, and we delivered just general support, information on all of this and more detail of how you access everything, timelines about the UK job market, CVs preparation. We did interview prep, interview practice. All of those things are available to you guys. So really, you can access most of the stuff while you're an on-campus student.
Brilliant, thank you. And I thought it was really interesting how you mentioned that, employers, they know when AI wrote your offer letter, when your cover letter or something like that. So um, how are the students, facing this kind of challenge today? And how does the
Yeah,
team at the university kind of guide, to
yeah.
not depending that much on AI, because it starts to become, oh, I can do this in 5 minutes if AI helps me. But
Mm.
really understanding that employers will know, and they'll filter out who they know put an effort into putting together their cover letter, their CV, their themselves with their experience and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, we know this because I mean, as careers professionals, we're always going to career employer panels, employer sessions, and it's always the same feedback and comments from employers. But also, we know this firsthand because we're also all employers ourselves. So we've all had to recruit or be on a recruitment panel at some point over the last 2 years. At the university, because the university is always hiring, and we understand, we've seen it ourselves, lots and lots of written personal statements, which if you apply for a non-profit sector role, it's not a CV, it's a written personal statement, which people tend to use more AI to write now. And we know that when you read them all, it's not so much that people are annoyed that you're using AI, it's the fact that the product of it means that the language all sounds the same. It has no substance. We can't understand the difference between people. It doesn't give clear examples the way that a human would. And it makes it impossible for people to tell the difference between the applicants. Now, the only way that you can really understand this as a candidate, which is what we do in our workshops, is everybody generate a cover letter for a job and then look at each other's. Okay. And you think when you look at your own, it sounds amazing, the language is perfect. But actually, when you read each other's, you'll see the similarities and you'll see how impossible it is to score them and make them and understand who actually is genuinely interested in that job or who genuinely has some relevant experience and why it's relevant, and actually understanding what that person's done in that previous job when the language used just doesn't explain it clearly. I think how students are getting around it. I mean, a lot of students are using AI and they choose to use it and they send hundreds of applications and don't get any response. I think really when students come to us, I would say do an experiment, send 5 handwritten applications that have not used AI and see what happens, see what your response rate is, your response ratio compared to 500, AI written ones, see what happens, see for yourself, have a look at each other's written applications, see if you can see how similar they look and how difficult it is to choose between them. We've only had Gen AI for it since like the last 4 years. So before that, we'll just do what you did before. I know a lot of people here probably weren't writing applications before, but just think about the content more than the style. AI tends to be heavy focus on the style, the language. Employers, they're not assessing you on how good you are at writing a cover letter or a personal statement or a CV. They want the information clearly and quickly. So getting that information over, if your language doesn't sound perfect, my language doesn't sound perfect when I write a cover letter, but they get the information they need because I've read it with my human eye and I know myself better than the AI, so I can draw out experience but also explain to the employer why that experience is relevant and how it is, and just give more context and detail. Yeah, so I think really just the answer is not complicated. Just tailor your application and write your answer yourself and see what happens. Do some experiments.
Yeah, and I know so AI, employers are expecting that our student cover letters are for that specific role and how they can
Yeah,
perform for that role. So they know that if it's a generic cover letter, it will take time. We know, after we've been in the job market, we've looked for jobs, we know that tailoring the specific cover letters to that role is very important because the employers want to know how you're going to bring your experience, or your not just experience, because students coming out of education don't have that much experience yet, but how they can apply for that specific role and how their individuality is important for that. So it's really important that students understand that now. It's not just creating hundreds and hundreds and sending them off and hoping that something comes back, but bring their individuality to that. That's really key, I think, as well. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have any more questions? Gemma, is there anything else you'd like to add before we round things up?
No, I mean, just I would just advise that when you come. Oh, I think I got thrown out the
Yeah, I think
meeting
you
then,
froze up
sorry.
a little bit. You're back.
Yeah, so yeah, just when you get to on campus, whenever there's something advertised for careers, just go to it and make the most of it. Yeah. So all you need to think about as a student when you first start is make use of what we're offering you, because not everyone does. So just make use of it. It's there, it's for free. You know, just come along and go from there.
Thank you so much, Gemma. And thanks everyone for joining. As I said, we'll be sharing the slides, we'll be sharing the recording later today. So you'll have the information with you at all times. And please do share with prospective students. Students, if you're here, please read through and see how you can use as much of this information before you join and while you're on campus as well, and then progress into the university. Thank you so much, Gemma. And
Thank you.
have a lovely weekend, everyone, and see you next time.
Bye,
Bye
everyone.
bye.
Thank you. Bye.